Vegas Motor Speedway, the CORA Championship Online Racing Association Sunday Muddy Series, back at it on LSRTV for round 12. And at it tonight, going to be halfway through the campaign. It is the Silver State 150. I want to welcome you to the LSRTV broadcast booth. As always, myself, Evan Pasoko, joined alongside this week by PDJ Zeller. Carl Jones off for the week. But PD, we look forward to a race out in the Nevada desert at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Our second race right now in the Gen 6 cars. Once again, going to be featuring with an open set race, and this one still a pretty solid length, but not really all that long. It's going to be 100 laps tonight at America's Racing Showplace, 150 miles once we go around this 1.5 miles tri-oval racetrack, and we look for this one to be an exciting one as always. But we've seen everything. We've seen trucks, we've seen Indy cars. We got a teaser of these Gen 6 cars 1 week ago at the Daytona International Raceway, but plate tracks are always so different. This is the first time that we're going to be able to see these Gen 6 machines out on an intermediate track, and it is these intermediate tracks that basically make up the majority of the season, and with the fact that it's being an open setup, we can expect a couple of teams here to maybe dominate.
And we should expect that. And tonight there's a lower number of drivers in the field than usual. A couple notables is Ryan Borges, our points leader. He's not here tonight, so Borges, that's a big surprise. He's religious about being here. It really surprised me he was not here tonight, and that really leaves the door open. He was certainly a heavy favorite coming in. He's a very, very excellent driver when it comes to the Cup cars, and we expected to see him run well tonight. So far, your provisional pole setter is Damon Gilbert. Still a lot of guys left to qualify, but Damon Gilbert's put up a really fast lap right now that everyone's having a hard time getting close to. Only one really close to him right now is Michael Churchma, and Churchma, without Borges being here, I have to expect to be another favorite, because back whenever we did these cars earlier in the season at a big track, the only people that were keeping up with Churchma were Don Stevenson and Ryan Borges, and those two aren't here tonight, so this really leaves the door open.
You see, George Bark, he's right now second fastest in practice as we work through the qualifying session in the 44, just now getting out on track for the qualifying. It's going to be a 10-minute closed 2-lap qualifier session, and this looks like it could be a rough undertaking for the George Bark entry, because on his second lap, he just put it in the fence, and without a lap posted, that may send him all the way to the back at a little bit of a smaller field. As we talked about, 24 drivers entered in the field tonight. There is a little bit of football going on here on this Sunday evening, but still going to provide exciting racing at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I want to talk some track facts before we really keep on rolling. Just about 5 minutes or so left in this qualifying session, so still about 50% of the drivers have yet to post their official qualifying times. So far, Damon Gilbert is on the provisional pole with a 28.509, but this racetrack, located in North Las Vegas, Nevada, has a capacity crowd of 131,000 race fans, owned and operated by the Speedway Motorsports Incorporated Group, opened back in 1996, went through quite a change in the banking to where it sits right now at progressive banking, 18 degrees on the bottom to 20 up against the outside wall, 1.5 miles of length than it is an asphalt surface through the tri-oval, and a racetrack, PD, that features some bumps that could shake a couple of drivers around in 1 and 2 and in 3 and 4. And again, these Gen 6 cars so bad fast with an open setup, it really allows some of these teams, and again, teams not necessarily a necessity, but there's a lot of people in here that are part of bigger teams, part of bigger organizations. These are the weeks that help, and these Gen 6 cars really going to give them an opportunity, because typically what we're doing is we're alternating between a fixed set race and open set race. Last week was open at Daytona. This week is open, and in our next race, we have a week off. Going to be back at it on February the 1st from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Final race in instant for the Gen 6 cars also open, so giving these drivers a lot of breathing room to try to play with some sets and see what they can get done with it right here in kind of the heart of the season.
Yeah, it should be real interesting to see these guys go at it here. And I actually just found out where Ryan Borges is. I forgot. Ryan Borges lives in the Boston area, and he was really excited because him and his family are making the trip out to a party tonight to watch the New England Patriots play football tonight, because he is a huge fan of them. So that's why we are not going to be seeing the 32 machine in the field tonight. I completely forgot about that. He told me about that Thursday that I wouldn't be here. So Ryan Borges is out there watching some football with, I'm sure, a bunch of other people that won't be here tonight. But the guys that did show up are still here to put on one heck of a show from this Las Vegas Speedway, a very quick 1.5 miler. The banking here is just a lot more than a lot of the 1.5 milers. It's fun to watch these guys fly around this. And it's funny, whenever you look at 1.5 milers, some people say Atlanta's big and Las Vegas short. The reason they say that is because Las Vegas is a lot tighter track whenever you come to talk about those two comparisons. Atlanta being a track we recently went to. Whenever you go into the corners at Las Vegas, there's not as many grooves as you might find it in Atlanta or a Texas. So these guys certainly will be working with not a lot of space in these big Gen 6 cars tonight. Going at it here from Las Vegas, this should be very, very fun to watch tonight, Evan.
And again, this racetrack was originally built at 12 degrees of banking, then got bumped up back in 2006 to what we have now at the 18 to 20 degrees of banking. And it's right in that sweet spot for these intermediate tracks. It's not a 24 of, say, a Charlotte Motor Speedway, but not down in the 12s and the 14s of some of the flatter tracks like a Kentucky Motor Speedway, things along those lines. 2 minutes left right now in the qualifying session. Pretty much everybody has put down their time. And again, we talked about the fact that George Bark, second fastest in practice, hit the wall. He is not going to be able to post a time. Looking at the David Wink machine, he went out there, did qualify, but he does not have any lap times posted either, although he did complete all of those laps. Turn 2. But I'm looking at it, I saw George Bark have trouble there. Wank had trouble there as well. Turn 2 is buddied a lot of the drivers in qualifying. Obviously, that's when you're trying to hot lap it. You got that thing taped up, but that could be as well something to look forward to into this race. So I'm going to be excited to see what George Bark, David Wink, a guy like a Dominic Dybel as well. All of those guys be top 5 in practice, unable to put down a time in qualifying. Pretty big news, the fact that they're going to be at the back, pretty much around the 20th on back through 24th position at the tail end of this field to start this one off. And again, 100 laps is a decent amount of time, but it's not a really long race, and these Gen 6 cars can knock off these laps at about 2 of them per minute, so you're hustling around this racetrack, and because it's the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, might as well throw the pun in there, whatever you want to call it, that they might have to gamble to get the job done.
Very interesting. Out of the 24 guys here, only 16 were able to put down a lap without contact. The 8 that didn't were Wenk, Dybal, Bark, Pansula, Skahill, Smith, Johnstone, and Wilkins. Dylan Ackert also, he put down a 42.5 compared to everyone else in the 28-second bracket. I have to think something went awfully wrong on his lap. At least I hope something went awfully wrong on his lap, because his time was clearly 12 seconds behind everyone else. So you gotta think that only 15 guys were able to safely get their cars around this track, and that's going to certainly shake a lot of things up here. But right now, what looks like, now we have to imagine that Wenk and Bark would have been where Bark ran a 4.70 in practice. The fast time qualifying being a 5.09 by Gilbert and a 5.16 by Churchma. Everyone else wasn't even close to those two. So as of right now, it looks like Gilbert and Churchma are going to put one heck of a battle until Bark and Dybal and Wenk can find the way to the front, as they're starting to get up now, Evan.
The field is on the front straightaway, and we get set for 100 laps at America's Racing Showplace, the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and the Silver State 150. Let's run you down through the starting grid and let you know where everybody's going to line up for this one. Damon Gilbert, driver of that number 68 machine, has been fighting so hard for so long, taking home the win 1 week ago at Daytona. He'll start on pole position, and that momentum is a hell of a thing for the 68 crew as he starts from P1. The 88 Michael Churchman going to start alongside him in second position. Dan Bailey starting third, Salicardi in fourth, and fifth to Dustin Loins.
Sixth to Brandon Cruz, Monts of Ice in a small town computers machine. 7th to Dustin Lee in the 50, 8th to Chad Wilson in the number 2, 9th to Nathan Sedlak, our in-race reporter, in the number 35. Round out your top 10 is number 81 of Colton Berkey.
Joel Wood going to roll from 11th. This makes up row 6. 12th position to James Brown. Charles Starks in 13th. 14th to the 51 Nick Doucette, and Dale Adkins in 15th.
16th to Dylan Ackert in number 29, and the rest of the cars are not getting a lap for qualifying. And 17th to the number 15 of Dominic Dybal. 18th to George Bark in the 44. 19th to the number 25 of Jeffrey Smith. Round out your top 20 is the number 20 of David Wank.
Move it on down, you got Patrick Skyhill in the 60 machine, 21st, 22nd to John Pansula. Tim Johnstone scheduled to start 23rd. Don't currently see him out there. And James Wilkins at number 3 machine will start from 24th. So the major story is 17th through 20th. Circle those names. Dybal, Bark, Smith, and Wank. Cars that were top 10 in the practice session, outside of the top 15 because they were unable to safely complete their qualifying laps. Had 2 shots at them at a very slick Las Vegas Motor Speedway, proved tricky for them, and they had trouble. So they're going to be looking to try to get back up through this field and be able to fight for it as we roll lights off at a pace car, and we will get this thing rocking and rolling this next time around.
Yeah, so the number 68 of Damon Gilbert's going to lead him down. Alongside him, number 88 Michael Churchwell. We just went through that. So right now, the Storm Power, we sort of saw that die out earlier in the season. Right after the Michigan Nationwide race, it seems like the other teams had finally caught up with Storm Motorsports, and that's showing tonight. Out of the Storm cars, the only one starting in the top 10 right now is Michael Churchman. Now, the other two were fast in practice, but it'll be a matter of if they can get up there. Actually, correct me, there was two Storm cars in the top 10 because Nathan Sedlick's starting 9th tonight. So he's going to be trying to get there with the Storm teammate Michael Churchman, and I'm sure Wenk will want to find his way. But right now, Damon Gilbert. Over the past few weeks, Gilbert's looked like a very dominant driver in the series. He's looked like the driver who is sort of taking up the slack. Whenever Don Stevenson left, everyone was like, well, who's going to be the new dominant driver? Damon Gilbert has put on a heck of a show. He's been top 3 week in and week out, and I think he's ready to take the crown of maybe best driver in CORA.
And we're going to be following the progress of that number 35, Nathan Sedlak, our LSRTV in-race reporter for the race this evening. But enough talk, and let's get at it. 100 laps on tap around this 1.5-mile speedway. Pace car going to duck down and get way out of the way. Damon Gilbert now in control of this field. The Triton 68 rolls at a quarter to number 4. He is in control, can go what he wants, hesitates about 4 seconds total. Green flag now flies for the flag stand at Silver State. 150 is underway. Small challenge for second. Dan Bailey tried to go to the inside on Michael Churchma. Will tuck back in line, and the 88 machine going to be able to hang on to second very quickly. Top 5 all the way through to the top 10. Single filed out. It's just outside of that top 10 behind the 79 of Joel Wood, where we have our first battle, and it's James Brown up high. He's fighting off the 95 machine. A whole bunch of guys here battling side by side. We see Charles Stark on the inside.
Charles Stark trying to get clear. Nicholas Doucette, the young gun, waiting in the wings. He wants to find a way by these two guys battling right up here. 79 Joel Wood right in front of them. And this will actually make a double file racing now, because we have two side-by-side battles. The first one being between Starks. Oh, the 2-car had some hard contact. It looks like a header. Something went wrong with that 2-car, and everyone had to make evasive action. Good job by everyone to miss him. And that will actually get Starks and Doucette through to slow down the outside lane. So that will shake a lot of things up. And along with that, Dylan Acker got through, and it's really sending Joel Wood and James Brown backwards now.
Chad Wilson still slow up at a high side. That's the number 2 machine that caught the fence in 1 and 2 on entry. Because of that, he just got stuck on the outside retaining wall pretty much all the way through 1 and 2. The battle for the lead is about a car length between the 68 and the 88. Not quite a side-by-side fight. Side-by-side inside the top 10, however. For the 54 of Brandon Cruz Monster Vice fighting. The 35 of Nathan Sedlak's going to pass him at a high side. He brings the 81 of Colton Berkey through with tow. And now the 54 machine will slide back to what's going to be P9. After starting in 10th, picked up a lot of spots on the initial start of the race, and now sliding backwards a little bit more side-by-side back. The 20 of David Wenk, he's fighting with the 44 of George Bark. Those are two machines that we highlighted, PD. Started at the back of the pack, and although right now they're fighting with each other and George Bark's going to win this battle temporarily, I can imagine that they're going to be following each other back up through this field to those top 5 spots by the end of the night.
Yeah, I have to imagine that too, as these guys are going at it right now, though, up here in the front. It looks like Churchman is just biding his time right now behind Damon Gilbert, waiting to go. A better battle looks like it's going to be for the position number 4. That's going to be between Dustin Lee, Dustin Loynes. A lot of Dustin going on right there. And Nathan Sedlak, who's closing in quickly on this battle here, although that's going to happen real quick, because here comes Dustin Lee to the bottom. Lee is going to try to pass the Loynes machine here in turn number 3 and 4. He's going to slide up, get way, way loose. Will he hang on? Oh, he saved it, sorta, maybe? Yes, he saved it. The 50 machine somehow hangs onto that machine after getting arrow loose underneath that number 40 car.
Obviously very slow down the front straightaway as he loses about 3 spots, but was able to avoid contact. Meanwhile, contact for the top spot as Michael Churchma, the 88, since the drop at a green flag, has been all over Damon Gilbert, who's riding the high of winning at Daytona 1 week ago and wants to make a statement that it's not a fluke that he got it at the plate track and he knows his way around these cup cars. He leads, but the 88 gave him a little bit of a shot to the back bumper down the straightaway the last time around, and the 88 still applying the pressure. Not so much trying to make a move, but if you're that close to him, PD, maybe even trying to force a mistake from Damon Gilbert to get to the top spot. So far, still green, lap 7.
Yeah, still green. Dustin Lee fell way back, though. That really hurt that number 50 entry here. So he's going to be trying to move forward. And right now we're watching a battle between the number 35 and the 40. Here comes the 35 closing quickly in on the 40 machine. He's trying to make up some mad ground on him. and he's going to get a lot of ground. So here we go. Lennon will dive under him. There he goes. 35 trying to make a move, thinks better, but checks up real quick. And the 40 machine's occupying that outside lane, trying to get a good run. Not enough. Here comes Sedlick to the low side. He's going to try to get him down in turns number 3 and 4. Can he get him? Yes, he will. Easily, the 35 clears number 40. Although 40 has a good run off the high side. 40 fights right back with our in-race reporter, the number 35 machine, giving it all he has right now. Can he be able to get the 4th position from Dustin Loynes? This time at the line, it was barely Loynes by the closest of margins. It was actually a tie at the line. Oh my, they gave it to Loynes, and just like that, Sedlick clears Loynes, and man, that was close to the line.
And now you see that 40 car up on the outside wall to Dustin Loynes' entry, trying to be able to get clear of that 81 of Colton Berkey. Now down on the inside, and he's going to be able to successfully do so. So back in line goes that 40 of Dustin Loynes. Sedlak obviously get a hopscotch over that 40 machine, so he's up to 4th, and Loynes will essentially remain in 5th as Colton Berkey has slid up to the number 6 spot. Caution flag now, trouble in the back half of this pack. We're slow down to back straightaway. Dominique Dyball with heavy damage on the number 15 machine. Can't even remember what manufacturer that is because he's got no bumper or a back end on it. It is the Chevrolet entry in 23rd position. This is a 3-car wreck coming out of corner 2, and I said it when we were watching qualifying speeds that it was going to happen in 2, and it starts with the 99 of Charles Stark. Slow off the corner, PD. Probably maybe had to check up because he was going to overdrive that exit. Slowed down, slid up the hill, and just got your take a look, just slid up into James Brown, sent that Lafarge machine sideways, turned it around across the nose of all those guys, the 01, the 15, and those 3 cars all go into the inside wall. Tough break, especially for the John Pansula entry, who caught a little bit of that bump on the wall and took a little bit of a harder hit to the left rear of that machine. But 3 cars in what was really a relatively calm yet competitive race opening in this one is now involved in that incident, and we slow him down for a caution on lap 11.
Yeah, and that sucks for the Dyball machine and Starks. They both painted their cars in honor of Ohio State, who won the National Football Championship a week ago in a great game versus Oregon. So, man, that's really stinks for them. I know Dyball especially was really excited to represent Ohio State, but he will still have his reset, though. He'll be able to go back out there and fight for this win, and I know he has a really fast car, so he should be able to get back out there. Everything's going to remain the same, though. Damon Gilbert's still your leader as we just completed not too many laps. We weren't that deep into the race, only a 100-lap race. Like Evan said, a really quick event here. You're going to have to make at least 1 pit stop. Probably more than that if we see some cautions. So just going to be watching the progress of the guys coming to the field now.
Leaders down pit road, and Damon Gilbert led us on. He's going to go with a 4-tire stop. He will not be the first car off of pit road by any stretch of the imagination, because the 88, who was all over him, going to be a right side only strategy call by Churchman. May not have been what he was initially going to do, PD, but he overshot his stall, backed it up, and then decided to go with that 2-tire call. So the 88 going to be the first car off of pit road, at least for that matter. Dominic Dyball is out there. He got a quick fix. He is 1 lap down. Joel Wood and Brandon Mossa-Weiss appear to be the only 2 cars that have stayed out. Brandon Cruz was able to lead the last time by, so maybe just staying out to get that bonus point, and we may see the 54 come back down pit road this time, or it's going to be him and that 79 of Joel Wood who stay out, and they'll be in front of Churchma, who's on 2, and then everybody else from Damon Gilbert on going to be with 4 fresh. We'll have to see if that 54 does elect to come down pit road this time. Does not appear so. So 2 guys going to stay out, 1 on 2 tires, everybody else on 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles.
Yeah, so everyone's going to be on fresh tires here, and should be exciting to watch them go at it again. They did a great job that first time. Not a whole lot of wrecks, just a whole lot of good, wholesome racing action, and that's what you expect to see when we come to a track like Las Vegas and the Cup Cars with the CORA Sunday Money Series. I can't wait to see these guys go at it, though, again. Man, high-speed racetrack, high stakes, money on the line. You know you're going to see a good race. We're 12 laps into this event right now. So these guys, actually we're 13 laps into it. Sorry, I was looking at a car who was a lap down. That's Dominic Dyball. Speaking of cars lap down, only 2 guys are a lap down right now. That's Dominic Dyball and John Pansula. So they're going to be looking to get their laps back here shortly. Now with Brandon Mossa-Weiss leading this race on his strategy, that should throw a real wild card into this one as we're going to get ready for another restart here. I have to expect Churchma and Gilbert to fly by Mossa-Weiss and Joel Wood, but you don't know. Anything can happen here. Maybe Mossa-Weiss knows something that those guys don't happen.
Is still relatively young into a fuel run at only 11 laps in, but everybody coming down, we got 3 guys that we will call off-cycle tire-wise, and then 2 of them that are off-cycle fuel-wise. And the cautions are going to dictate how the rest of this race shakes out, and who knows, it could possibly be a race-winning decision for the 54 and a 79, but they get a lot of hot rods behind him. Let's see how Massa Weiss and Wood are able to hold him off. The iRacing Ford First Mustang pace car gets set and takes that sharp left-hand turn down to the safety of pit road right there. The 54 in control on the initial start of the race. Damon Gilbert waited quite a while. Same thing with the 54. Everybody getting on the accelerator, grouping up behind him. Now we go green flag racing. At a 54 just did not get going. Joel Wood going to essentially beat him to the start-finish line, but even after the green flew, a little bit hesitant on that throttle, watching that tire spin was Massa Weiss, and now Joel Wood slow up on the high side, can't hang with him, and we're 3 wide trying to split him at a 2.
Yeah, Wood hit the wall going into turn number 1 on the straightaway a little bit there. Tough move for him, and here we go, battle for the lead. Not even a battle anymore because Churchman goes flying by, and here's his teammate Nathan Sedlak. Sedlak's going to follow suit here, and he will clear Massa Weiss. So Massa Weiss just getting freight trained here. Colton Berkey going to be looking low here.
3 wide.
And, 3 wide we have behind him. That's a very intense battle we have with Nicholas Doucette in the 79. 79 just going backwards. The caution is out on the speedway. Big wreck in the back.
Caution, and now contact after the caution. It's Joel Wood. He's in the wall. That's not what the yellow is for. Slow is Jeffrey Smith. That's the Hauveling machine. That's a Ford Fusion entry. Looks like he tried to make a pass on the 95, and it looks like he just blended back up to the outside, and what happened is he bounced off the wall. Patrick Scahill gets turned, and a wicked lick for that 60 car. Hard into the wall. The 3 machine is right there as well. Going to be collected in that incident is James Wilkins. That's the initial incident. I was still following the 3 wide, Pete, and then after the caution, George Bark checks up and gives a shot and puts the 79 to Joel Wood in the outside wall, post-yellow, accidental contact in that one. So, I mean, in theory, at least 4 or 5 cars going to get damage in that exchange, and 3 of them with that hard contact into the turn 1 wall.
Awful wreck here from Las Vegas. I hope that Patrick Scahill is okay. I'm sure he's okay after that one. That was a really hard hit, though. His car went spinning sideways in all sorts of directions, and it ripped the front end and the back end off of that car. So certainly not at all the ride that Patrick Scahill want to be going for right now. I thought we might see Brandon Massa Weiss come down pit road, but no, he's going to stay out. I really expect to see Joel Wood come down as he does right now. So I guess the strategy, Massa Weiss feels like it's working for him, and Joel Wood clearly sees it's not working for him right now, so he's going to bring it in for some good years, a quick fix, and some gasoline here. Just 16 laps into this 100-lap affair from Las Vegas. And Evan, these guys are already going at it.
They're digging hard, and again, still young into this race as Michael Churchman leads. The car that sits second is our in-race reporter, and we're going to try to get him queued up on the radio. He started 9th, sits second right now, but it's Storm Cars 1, 2. We're going to try to catch up with the 35 of Nathan Sedlak on the radio as he is our LSRTV in-race reporter for this race. Want to make quick note that we are working on lap number 17 under what's going to be about our 2nd or 3rd caution so far in this event. And now we've got him queued up at a radio. Nathan Sedlak at 7 Pasoko, PDJ Zeller broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
We started back in 9th position. We're 14th fastest in practice, so it's been a steady improvement, but now already up to P2, and you're right behind your teammate in Michael Churchman. Last week we saw our first Cup race. It was open set at Daytona, but now we finally get these things back out on the intermediate tracks. It's an open setup. What did the Storm guys got tonight?
Things are looking pretty good. We worked pretty hard this week. It's definitely a tough track with the conditions that are here. It's set up for a little bit of grip, but that's not always a helper with these cars. So I think made things a little bit difficult and made things on the tight side for some guys. So it's a little bit of a struggle out here, but we're getting it.
Churchman sitting on 2 tires. We saw a couple of guys try to stay out on about a 10-lap run. Did not work out for them. Massa Weiss, one of them, still sits 4th, but Joel Wood went way back in traffic. Are you judging some of these tire strategies that these other guys are making and possibly thinking of that later in the race? What are you thinking? I mean, you're on 4 tires. You're the first car in line on 4 tires. Is that pretty much going to be what you stick with all race?
Yeah, I'm one of those guys. I get so nervous when I take 2. I don't know if Mike took them on purpose there, but it's a good barometer for us. At least we can see. He got a little blocked on pit road or something. Had to take 2 to save some time. But I'm one of those guys. I like 4 good ones, man, and go get it. But I here at Vegas, I think I'm gonna take 4 all the time, and I think that's the best bet. But it just depends on how that last run goes and what the laps come down to there.
We're just about a fifth of the way through this one when we get back at it, green flag action, and you've been able to pick up 7 spots so far, and I know we talked about the setup. I mean, what's the racing like out there on that last one with everybody back there trying to get around those cars that stayed out? Got pretty hectic, but I mean, what does the car feel like, and how's everybody else acting out there? Pretty calm so far, or do you think everybody's a little bit aggressive trying to get whatever they can here early?
I think there's some guys that are trying to calm down, but they're trying to get to a spot where they can calm down. They want to get out of where they were. Something went funky with the qualifying. We advanced the session, and then the track was just different in qualifying. I think guys are a little sketched out by that right now, especially me. I made some pre-race changes there right after qualifying, so I don't always like doing that. But so, things feel a little bit off right now, but trying to get to a spot, cool it down, calm down a little bit, and ride it out.
We're going to be on the outside of the front row for this next restart. Lights on the pace cars. We cross over this time by. Going to go up before we let you back to the team radio. Any sponsors or shout-outs you want to throw out real quick?
Yeah, Storm Motorsports as always. CORA for everything they do. You guys up in the booth, LSRTV, we appreciate it.
All right, well, we hope to be able to talk to you, Nathan, throughout this race and maybe post-race from a good result. Good luck here.
10-4, thank you.
That is our in-race reporter, driver of the number 35 Storm Motorsports Chevrolet, Nathan Zedlak. He's going to be on the outside of the front row. Petey, this restart going to come with 20 cars still on the lead lap. Everybody that's off the lead lap are James Wilkins and Jeffrey Smith. They're 2 laps down, and in 3 laps down are John Pansula and Patrick Scohill. Scohill is the only car that is not currently out on track. He has gone behind the wall. He is our first retiree on the evening, but Churchma on those 2 tires is going to be in control for this restart.
Yes, we're getting ready for another restart here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. These guys are ready to go at it here for, they still have 80 laps to go in this race. Certainly by no means over right now. And Churchma and Sedlak going to be bringing them out the front row. Remember, Sedlak has 4 tires, Churchma has 2. Time to see how that's going to work out for him. Pace car gets set to pull off here out of turn number 4. He's waiting. This pace car likes to take a little while to pull off. And now it's going to pull off, so it's all in the hands of Michael Churchma now. Churchma takes off, and so is Sedlak, right in sync, and they're going to be 1-2 at the line. And they got a great restart over Kurt and Berkey.
And the Storm guys obviously timing that one well. Those guys have been a lot sooner than everybody that we had seen go from the top spot so far tonight. That gets them nice and clear. And look at Damon Gilbert just blow the door off the 54 of Brandon Cruz Massa Vice in 1 and 2. The 68 car is going to be able to get back to what's going to be P4 right there. And now side by side just behind the 54 of Massa Vice. More cars trying to fight at it. The 39 of Salacardi going to make a move. He passes the 40 fast lane or east entry of Dustin Loynes. And both of them now stacked up on each other's bumpers, trying to find a way by that 54 who pulled that tire strategy call. And so far, not quite working out for Massa Vice. It's only gone backwards for the moment. Has settled in the 5th, but you see that machine just gets so tight on all tires. There's a fence there in 2. He has to back way out of it. At about 4 or 5 cars now by on the inside.
So not at all what Massa Vice wanted to happen there, and he's falling back quick. So he gets passed by everyone. David Wenck, that car's making his way up through the field right now. Is Massa Vice still getting passed by Nicholas Doucette here. Doucette is clear, so Massa Vice all the way back to the 11th position. And right now there is no immediately side-by-side battles for the lead, but it's pretty close because here's Sedlak and Berkey right waiting in the wings on Churchman. They're all on 4 tires and Churchman's on 2. It'll equal itself out eventually, but I'm sure Sedlak wants to take advantage of it while he has a chance. And here comes Sedlak. He's right on the bumper of Churchman. Will he make a move, and when will he make a move is the real question, as he keeps inching and inching closer and closer to that number 88 machine, and Evan, it has to be a matter of time now.
Somebody's out in the grass on the front straightaway, slow. It is a machine there. It's been able to get back going, and no caution from this one as everybody has been able to hang on to it, but somebody was slow, and as soon as I was about to get the number of that car, now around goes Jeffrey Smith. It was the Haviland Ford who was slow on the front straightaway. He spun. It looked like he had saved it, went back down through the grass, currently stopped on the apron on the inside of quarter number 1. He gets it back going and is tucked up against the inside retaining wall, so no caution. We will stay green from that and take our eyes back to the battle for the top 3 positions, who are good by over a second to 4th place, which is occupied by Damon Gilbert on back. But there's the move you talked about. It wasn't going to be long, and to the inside goes Nathan Sedlak. Can't get it though. Did not get the best arc down at a 3. And a huge run off of 4, going to allow Churchman to get another 4 car length advantage.
Yeah, but Berkey's now right on the bumper of the 30.
See that 81 car right there, right behind the 35 of Nathan Sedlak. That's about a car length that separates second and third right now. Talked about how they're good over fourth on back in this field. There is a battle going on right now with the 51 of Nick Doucette, who's in a hornet's nest, 3 wide at a quarter number 4. In the middle is the 20 of David Wink. Not a lot of room. Salicardi up high, and everybody survives for now. As we get back down to 1, the 51's on the bottom, and everybody else stacked up at a single file line, essentially on the outside lane. The 08, the 20, the 39, as well as the 50 car are all lined up on the high lane, and Nick Doucette is all alone down low trying to find a spot in line.
Nick Doucette wants to find a spot in line, but he's going to have to battle here with David Wenk in the 20 machine. The 20 machine on the outside, he's trying to keep Doucette pinched down there low. And Doucette's going to try to make a move here. They're real close battling here. That's a very, very tight battle. Have to believe Wenk has a faster car. I mean, he's just flying through this field right now. And if he gets by the Doucette machine, he'll be up to 8th. So Wenk just fighting hard on the outside. He has a good run down the backstretch. Will he get clear of him is the real question here. He will not quite this time, but if he can get a good 3 and 4, there's no reason he can't. Doucette got loose on the bottom. He got really loose, saves it, and that will give the position to Wenk. And Salicardi's also going to get through there. The 50 of Lee is going to try. I'm not sure if he'll have quite as much time as the 2 in front of him did. Yeah, he does. So Nicholas Doucette loses 3 positions just like that. And back up front where there's now a 4-car battle about to ensue for the lead.
Damon Gilbert is just flat-footing it right there in 4th position. Absolutely flying down the Nellis straightaway, pun intended in that one, as he has gone from what was about 1.2 seconds back. I said that the top 3 were good from 4th on back. Well, Damon Gilbert making it a show, as he has now made it, as you said, a 4-car battle for the top spot, and those 4 guys separated by less than half of a second. You saw the problem there with Nick Doucette's small bobble, cost him 4 positions. The top 4 altogether as well, 6th through 9th position. A second pack of 4 here are so close, Petey, that you can fight 5, 6, 7, 8 plus laps for 1 spot. Dig really, and then, just 1 small bobble, and you'll lose all that work and lose 4 spots in a blink of an eye. And that's what we saw happen to Nick Doucette right now. But Damon Gilbert, essentially a 10th faster than the guys in front of him, closes it down to 4/10. The problem is, though, these guys are all fighting with each other. 68 doesn't want to stick a nose in somewhere when, say, the guy in front of him, Sedlak, maybe try to make a move on Berkey, not looking in his mirror, cut across his nose. So you have to be careful when you're fighting with somebody who's fighting with somebody else to make sure that you know that they see you, make that position, and be able to time it. The 81 car, not a good run off the corner. That's Colton Berkey. He'll be slow as we go around the lap machine in the 79 just in front of us. Joel Wood will lose 1 lap. So Michael Churchman, race leader, works around him. And Sedlak, a slide job of sorts in 1 and 2, goes to the bottom, slides up in front of Colton Berkey, and gets it done.
Yeah, and right now Joel Wood's fighting with Churchman. He doesn't want to give that lap up. So Churchman's going to actually have a harder time than they thought getting around this Wood machine, who's on fresher tires, we know. Wood fighting on the outside, he gets loose. He's not giving an inch, though. He's going to try and maybe fight back. No, this time the 88 will just clear him. The 79 got really loose, so that will put Joel Wood a lap down, as here comes Nathan Sedlak. And the 80, big one. The 40 car of Dustin Loynes is involved. This is how the front is. He got annihilated by the 15 of Dominique Dyball. And oh my goodness, that was a hard hit for the 40 car. He took a bunch of hard hits there. This wreck started. The 40 was coming off of turn number 4. He hit the wall, got loose, hit the wall again, kept it in the wall, got it out of the wall, and then he basically just lost it, hit the 39, 51 nailed him. And when it seemed like it was all over, the 15 of Dominic Dyball absolutely annihilated him and killed that 40 car, as you guys see a replay. And that's, oh my, that was a serious crash. I hope Dustin Loynes is okay after that one.
And the 40 caught the fence, came down, hits the 39 of Salicardi there as well. Nick Doucette gets a piece of it. Doucette not happy with that. And then Doucette goes back into the outside wall and loses his engine. And then when that happens, Dustin Loynes coming back down the racetrack with everybody still essentially at top speed gets absolutely destroyed by Dominic Dyball, who comes flying in and was on the brakes. He slowed it down about 60 miles an hour, but still nailed that huge contact and damage to the 15. But it was Dustin Loynes who was up and over on his lid, and still about 2-3 other people could have possibly been involved in that one, and a huge incident. Gonna slow things down. Michael Churchman will lead the leaders down for pit stops.
Churchman on the 88 machine will be the first one to come down to pit road. Everyone else bites, so Churchman, they have to drive way down pit road to get to the other end to get to his stall. He has just the second stall on pit road. Interesting to see if the first stall pays off for Dustin Loynes here on this stop. So here comes Churchman. He's right into his stall, and he is probably going to take a 4-tire stop out soon after he has took 2 the last time. The right sides go up in that machine. They're drilling them tires on. They're going to put the car down and possibly run around to the other side. Yes, they do. They put 2 on. The 3 machine only took 2, so he's going to get off pit road first. Churchman next one off, and Loynes follows suit. So a little bit of a shake-up here with the 3 machine of James Wilkins just taking 2 tires. And he's actually a lap down, I believe, so that won't mean much. I don't know why it came down with the leaders. That's a black flag, but I guess he just wanted to get his tires quick there, Evan.
Yeah, he had damage, so what he did was he came down with a blown engine, had the quick fix given to him, took 4 tires, and just happened to come out when our leaders did. So it did appear that he was flying off and was going to go to the top spot, but he does find himself 3 laps down. So in that exchange, Michael Churchman going to return to the point at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Want to step away for our first caution flag of the evening very quickly as we work under yellow flag. You're watching Sunday Money action from Las Vegas, and a lot more to come on LSRTV. Stay tuned. Back live from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Field doubled up down to Dallas straightaway. We get set for a restart that's going to be coming up across it over from lap 36 to 37. Thanks for being with us tonight on LSRTV. You're watching Sunday Money action from Las Vegas, and after tonight, it is the halfway point in this campaign with CORA, race 12 in the works out of 24. Myself, Evan Pasoko, alongside PDJ Seller in the booth, and Laura Lawson down in the production hall, getting us on air this evening as we close in now. What's going to be the next milestone in this race? Halfway in just about 13 laps. Pace car gets set to dive down. Storm front row once again. Michael Churchman in control. Expect him and Sedlak to go together. Green flag in the air and back at it from Las Vegas. And Churchman back underway. And it's Damon Gilbert who's actually able to get a great restart. Put up a fight for second. Can he keep a nose on Nathan Sedlak? No. And shut the doors to 35 for P2.
So Sedlak cleared for second here. Damon Gilbert will be following close behind in third, but Colton Berkey's going to be looking low. Here comes the 81 of Colton Berkey. He wants to try to make a move here on Damon Gilbert. Berkey looking really stout and quick in this race. He gets a little bit loose. He almost slides up into that 68 machine. barely keeps it down low, and that's going to give David Wenk a huge run on him. Wenk to the outside, can he get clear of him? He's going to be side-by-side heading turns 1 and 2. This is not the corner to be on the high side, although it might work out if he can stay side-by-side till turns 3 and 4. Wenk keep a nose in there. Yes, he will. And he's going to be side-by-side on the backstretch. He's going to clear him by the time he gets to turn 3, and Wenk is clear. Colton Berkey going to try to find a hole and not let Sal Accardi get through. Accardi looking to get a very good run today. He's been running stout all day, and he's up in the 6th position. Looking to go to 5th. Here he is. He's going underneath the 81 of Colton Berkey. This is the battle for now the 5th position. And wow, what a day Sal Accardi's having.
Moving forward after starting 4th position, slid back at a pack and trying to fight for lost ground. However, slowed that time in 1 and 2, and it's going to be the outside that gets the job done, and Colton Berkey with a great defensive move to be able to maintain his top 5 spot, and Dan Bailey had a run down the back, could have probably got to the inside, but may not have worked out with the line. He would have been forced to take it to 3, so he backed out of it. He stays behind the 39 in 7th position. Side by side behind them for 8th on the inside, the 29 of Dylan Ackert is the attacker, and a 50 of Dustin Lee way overdrives one. The 44 of George Bark going to be able to get around him. That's going to slide him back to about 10th position, and James Brown, the next car who thought about making a move, they single file out for the moment.
So right now, Michael Churchman with a fairly good lead over Nathan Sudak and Damon Gilbert. Wenk is starting to close up ground. Now the first battle on the racetrack is all the way back. You will find around back in about really well positions. Back in the 40.
Bark!
Update on George
Big
Bark.
trouble for the 44
Motor.
of George Bark. Hard into the inside wall after he got slowed up. I don't know what happened to George Bark, but he was slow. Coming out of 4. The car in front of him had some sort of a bobble. George Bark backed out of it, and in doing so, I don't know if he ran out of gas or something, but he just lost a whole lot of speed, and behind him just gets run over because no time for the 50 of Dustin Lee to react, and he gets turned into the inside wall. Hard contact, loses the engine on that. He's now down pit road. Believe he may be out of resets, and his night may be done. Is taking a tow right now. We'll have to see if he does have a quick fix left in the back pocket, but tough break for him.
George Bark has just left the session, so he is DNF tonight, and what a shame for George Bark. Just cannot find luck here tonight, or really any days. No caution for that. CORA sometimes will throw cautions for wrecks, but this one they deemed not big enough for anything, so they just let that one slide, and George Bark is now out of the event. What this does is that really no racing going on right now. Everyone's extremely spread out right now, Evan. There's actually virtually no battles on the racetrack going on at all right now. The only one that's even sort of close is the one for the lead. And you don't expect to see too much action from that because the two teammates like to respect each other. And now CORA throws the caution for George Bark's wreck.
The race control reviewed the incident. Gonna listen into the race control right now. They're discussing it. We believe that it is in response to that previous incident. So we do slow them back down just as things got spread out. We're working on lap number 44 of 100. We're listening in. Hold on. Yeah, we're listening to the George Bark machine, and that's what they're discussing, that the cause of the caution is the George Bark entry. And again, slowed down. Not sure if he had run out of fuel, PD, or something along those lines. Trying to see if he maybe got into the driver behind him at all previously in the race, and may have been a retaliatory action. But I mean, George Bark made quick work of the 50 and just had some sort of an incident where I don't know, did he run out of fuel or something along those lines? But he just slowed down and got run over, and that's what the caution's going to be for. And you talked about it, typically reserved for multi-car incidents, but that one, again, because iRacing won't trigger it, it was off the racing surface. He is down on pit road, hit the inside wall. His night is done, and now the yellow subsequently being thrown for him. And our leaders love pit road because they're already back down.
Yeah, so Michael Churchma is going to take on right sides. It'll be interesting to see if he goes for 4. He recently did. Not sure what the strategy will be here. He's putting 4 tires on it. Same with Damon Gilbert. So we're going to see if anyone does anything different here. Nope, Michael Churchma first one off pit road. And Gilbert is going to... No, it will not be Gilbert. It will be Sedlick. Gilbert almost got second off pit road, but still have to settle for 3rd. And maybe David Wenk beat him. I don't know. It was really close between those two, but... what this does actually gives Wenk his first look at the top spot all night. Wenk's going to be right up there, and I'm excited to see what he can do with this top 3.
Las Vegas is not a pole sitter friendly track. If you look at a track like Atlanta, the scoring loop there with that cone that you can see where the positions are determined is not too far from the final pit stall. This one, quite a track down to that green cone, which put that 68 machine back in what is going to be third, and he's the only person that is separating it from being a Storm Motorsports podium sweep at the moment. But Gilbert is able to maintain that, and we know he has a fast machine. If anything, feels like he might just better, be off with long green flag runs, because his machine, again, we saw our leaders pull away. They battled, and once that 68 machine had a couple of laps, he really started flying. And again, this is a statement race for Damon Gilbert going into this. He won at Daytona, and a lot of people will try to pass off wins at tracks like Daytona, Talladega as flukes because they are, obviously a plate track race. Gilbert's here to show that it's no fluke, and by the way, he is 10th in the championship standings. Top 8 make the chase, so a win will obviously help him out points-wise in that regard.
Yeah, so that was a very, very interesting race without Borges being here, like you said. That should, that's really going to help everyone else out tonight. Borges being watching the New England game right now at a party, so he cannot be here tonight, and actually only makes 3 Storm cars in the field. Stevenson's been long gone from the league for about 5 weeks now, and the Storm cars are making up the slack right now. They're 1, 2, and 4, and I believe Wenck is probably the fastest car of all of them, and he's only in 4th right now, so we expect to see him move a little bit more forward. And what that does is it really shakes that up, though, with the whole scenario with points, because Borges not being here obviously is going to create an indent. And Damon Gilbert, I expect to see take a great advantage of it. Right now he's running in the 3rd position, and just a good solid points runs for that 68. And you said people are going to disregard his win at Daytona because it was a plate track win. Well, I don't think you should disregard that, because that 68's been on it lately. He finished, I think it was about 2nd at the Atlanta race we had recently. He was up in the Michigan race. He's up front in all these events, and no one's just giving him the credit he deserves. But man, he's obviously one of the more faster guys in the series as of late.
He sits right now with 7 starts and is beating the likes of Everett Lane, Dustin Lee, who have 11 and 10 starts. He is higher than them in points, so obviously strong when he is out here on track. You talk about Borges. Borges is about, I want to say, in the range of 310 points to the good for the chase cutoff, so nothing really concerning for him immediately unless he really has some major issues later on in the season. But another thing to note, nobody right now that's our chase drivers, and you saw the standings there go across the screen. Top 12 make the chase. None of our chase guys have multiple wins. Only driver with multiple wins is Don Stevenson, obviously no longer racing on a week-in, week-out basis. Damon Gilbert is the only one who sits on 2. He is 10th, so correction on that one. But guys like Sedlak, Borges, Doucette, they don't have multi-time wins, and it's hard to believe that to an extent. But Michael Churchman, PD, is not in this championship. Those last 3 spots, Dustin Lee is in by 4 points over Don Stevenson, who's no longer here, but it's a 6-point gap to Churchman. That's not a lot of space between being able to fight for a championship and being on the outside looking in. So that's something that we need to follow throughout these next few races, is where they sit, because each race is crucial.
And an update on Stevenson. Right now he's in position to be part of the next Pro Series class, so Stevenson's not doing too bad for himself. His work going green, pace car is off. Churchman's going to lead him down here, and he gets a good restart, pulls right away. And David Wenck didn't quite go there, but it looks as though the top 4 are going to be able to single file themselves out here. Don't see the 81 of Berkey getting under him. No, he does not. So top 4 already split themselves up single file throughout the whole field till you get back to number 50 of Dustin Lee and the 95 of Dale Atkins. That's the first battle, and that just kind of cleared up because Atkins got clear. So, Evan, there's really no side-by-side right now until you get back to Chad Wilson and Dustin Loynes.
Everybody nice and respectful per se on that restart, getting single filed out, and the 2 machine of Chad Wilson with a bobble in 3 and 4, gonna check him up, and the 44 is gonna be able to get around him. That's back on track for the George Bark entry. However, now 3 laps down, the 51 of Nick Doucette is going to be able to get around as well. So Chad Wilson going the wrong direction. He's going to yield high. Brandon Monsivice going to be able to be by him as 16 cars remain on the lead lap, and everybody inside of the top 5 are all over each other on each other's bumper. This race going to be halfway, and cross sticks in the air the next time by as we cross over to take 50.
Dominic Dieball threw his motor, and he uses reset, so that could easily end the night there for the number 15 machine. He's bringing it down his pit stall. We can see if and he actually missed his pit stall, so we'll see if he has a reset. Yes, he does. He had another reset in the bag, so he's going to get his car repaired and then go back out there and fight for it again after he blew his motor. And it's a real tough break, though. I'm sure he's going to go possibly 2 laps down now from that whole exchange as the top 3 start tightening up. And that 68 of Damon Gilbert is flying right now, Evan. Trying to catch these leaders as quick as he can. He's right behind number 35 of Nathan Sedlak, and Sedlak's doing a great job right now, though, keeping up with Michael Churchman.
We've been following a lot of action here. 3 wide in corner 4. The 44 is in the middle of it. That's the lap machine of George Bark, but Doucette in this mix. Dylan Ackert, the 99, as well, fighting for this one. You got the 12 just in front of them at Tim Johnstone's entry. So a lot of guys fighting right now for what's going to be about a 13th place. And slow as Charles Starks off the corner. He really bobbled and nearly just got plowed by Brendan Mossavais, and it was on the brakes was the 54 car to not get into him. So he had to check up, and otherwise he would have been halfway in the back bumper of that machine. Meanwhile, up front, the Storm cars still lead with Churchma and Sedlak. And again, we talked about the fact that this is an open set race. You're going to see teams being together because they got the same equipment and working together as well. Sedlak to the bottom, thought about it, stays in line. Damon Gilbert kind of the odd man out in that because Colton Berkey, who sits back here behind David Wink. David Wink, the third Storm driver. Storm occupying the majority of the top 5, but may not be necessarily the fastest because to the inside goes Damon Gilbert. That one for P2. More 3 wide back of the pack, but it's a fight inside the top 5.
Fight inside the top 5 it is. The number 68 machine is going to try to clear 35 of Damon. Nathan Sedlak, Damon Gilbert, that's battling him right now. Gilbert has been hot lately, and he wants to back up his win at Daytona last week over James Brown tonight with a W. So here comes Damon Gilbert fighting strong. He's right behind the number 35 machine. Could not quite clear him in that battle, but he'll give it another shot here in a second. He has to be careful, though, because David Wenk's coming right up in his mirror. Wenk has a good car, we know that, and I'm sure Wenk wants to make most of his scenario here. Another battle going on the racetrack right now is all the way back for the 21st position. That's between Don McDyball and the number 95 Charles Starks. So really not a whole lot of battling going on right now. The best one you're going to see is between Damon Gilbert and the Storm cars.
And Gilbert took a shot at that P2 and was unable to get it, and now nearly back into the clutches of David Wink. He goes. Other than that, things rather calm in comparison to how they were the last few laps with a lot of 3 wide getting around some lap traffic, but you're seeing it on the shots there. The top 6 making it look like we're at Daytona from 1 week ago, separated by 7/10 of a second, and 6th itself all the way through the 3rd position, only 2/10 separate those 4. So you've been taking a look at them from all the different angles, and really in a huge single file line are these leaders. Great battling going on for these top spots. And then we have to bring up what we saw happen at Dick Doucette earlier, PDs. You can be in this group, you can fight and try to get a spot. One mistake can cost you 5 spots.
And it can here. These guys, it's a really hard track to pass. Looks like the outside lane's the best line for passing here tonight. If you get on the inside, looks like you just get loose or tight and cannot make any sort of move whatsoever. So these guys right now are trying to keep their cars facing forward and just bide their time. They're closing on 40 laps to go in this fairly short affair. As looks like Colton Berkey now is going to make a move on David Wenk. Berkey to the bottom. Berkey, that is for the 4th position, so Berkey wants to find his way around the 20 of David Wenk. Wenk certainly wants to hang on to that top 4. And looks as though the 81 is not going to have too many issues as he's going to try to get clear. He's actually going to wash up the racetrack almost into the 20 car, and he hangs on. So that will maintain the 4th position of the 20 of David Wenk. He just has to make sure he does not fall into the clutches of the 39 of Sal Accardi, who waits right there. Although I do believe right now, I've the 81 of Colton Berkey of a faster car. As he takes another peek at the 20 car of David Wenk, he's looking underneath him here, and it's going to be a matter of time now, I think, for the 81 gets clear, because he appears at a lot faster car. He just needs to find a way around him on a better line.
He got loose, and once he was able to really gather it back up, went right back after that number 21 of David Wink, who, as you said, wants to be able to hang on to a P4, which is where he sits right now. Top 3 still low for each other. It is the Storm train with the 68 of Damon Gilbert acting as the caboose, with just 0.3 of a second behind them. And although they are single file, although they are running the car quite hard, things relatively calm around the circuit for the moment, as everybody continuing to just kind of log laps in this middle portion of this race, which is typically where we see these long green flag stretches. You have a couple of cautions at the beginning, a long green flag stretch in the middle, sometimes all the way through green flag stops, which could be what we're seeing right now as Gilbert takes a peek on Sedlak, unable to get the spot because the 35 coming down on that front straightaway shuts the door on him for P2. But it's these middle portions where we get the long green flag stretches, and sometimes, if not typically, knock on wood, is these later stages. Once we get to lap 75 and that final quarter of the race, that's where things could see those late race yellows that really mix things up. For the moment, everybody is set, at least now, on this race being a long green flag stretch, and they got to work on conserving their tires, not burning them up here, so they can make it the distance. John Pansula from 17th position going to come down pit road after being one lap down, possibly a short pit.
So that's probably a short pit strategy right there. Have to imagine he wants to possibly get a spot change for second. Damon Gilbert up here in the 68 machine. He finally found a way around the number 35 of Nathan Sedlak. So Gilbert, our pole setter, probably fastest car on the field, finally found a way a second. Now it's just one more position. We just have about 48 laps to go here from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And, man, it's getting exciting. That's 38, correct me. So the 68 machine wants to find a way around the 88 right now, and that's a whole lot of speed we see in the front right now. Interesting thing that I think is funny right now, the whole entire top 5 is all Chevy cars right now. Normally you'd see a lot of like guys running Ford, and Damon Gilbert used to run Fords a lot, and I'm kind of surprised he didn't right now. He was normally our Ford guy. I remember we'd always talk about that, because he's going to look to make a move here on Michael Churchma. Churchma fights it off. But it's kind of sad, that Damon Gilbert's not our guy representing Ford anymore. We don't really have anyone to represent them anymore.
It was an intellectual decision on behalf of the 68 as he sits second right now. You talked about he tried to make a move on Michael Churchman, got right up to the left rear, and almost contact actually between those two cars. Now they sit with half a car length separating them for P1 and P2 on track right now. We're taking a look at some of the cars battling throughout the racetrack, but all over each other for the top spot. And Damon Gilbert, although there's still about 36 laps to go that time by, doesn't really want to sit around. He'd really like to get up to some clean air.
Yeah, so he wants to certainly get the lead here, and I found a fun fact. We're talking about manufacturers. In this race, iRacing offered Chevys, Fords, and Toyotas. 23 out of the 24 cars running this race were in Chevys, and there was one Toyota, that being the 08 of Dan S. Bailey. So I guess we're seeing a lot of Chevy power out there. I mean, not a whole lot of variety, you can say, as Damon Gilbert still trying to find a way around, looks to the high side, gets loose. Oh, he almost spins out! He saves it on the apron, and he's going to lose a whole lot of time, though. He's still in third, and, man, he just lost a whole bunch of time. He's going to get freight train there, and that could almost ruin Damon Gilbert's night there, Evan.
If this goes green, that could cost him the race. Trying to make a move to the outside in a Denny Hamlin-esque mistake where, well, try to make that left-hand bend. You're taking a look at the replay, trying to make that progressive left-hand curve, step it up the hill, and then try to reel that thing back in line and get sideways, so he loses a bunch of spots. The 81 going to go around him, the 20 around him, the 39 car as well, and Damon Gilbert is going to find himself scored at the start-finish line, now in 6th position. Just as I said, you work as many laps to get one spot, one bobble, and you lose, 3-4 times as many as maybe you had gained. And now, back to square one goes Damon Gilbert. He was back here, I think, 4th or so was the deepest I've seen him off of some pit road exchanges there. Now back to 6th. He's making quick work, already attacking David Wing, but he has 2.7 seconds back to the leaders. That's the problem.
It is a problem for him. He's going to clear one here. That looked like he made that one look easy. He still has a lot of guys to get by here, though, and that's going to be very tough for the 68 Damon Gilbert. And, man, that has to just absolutely suck for the number 68 machine. I know he looked to have a good run tonight, and this thing has a very green feel to it right now. I can't imagine us seeing too many more yellows, so Damon Gilbert could have just lost the race on that one mistake, although if he can get up to Colton Berkey and Sal Carty, he'll be back up to 3rd. His issue is, though, even if he has to get by them two, he still has 2 seconds to get to Churchma and Sedlak, so he's going to have a long, long way to go, and he's going to have to do some really big he's going to have to make a comeback here, like almost Seattle did earlier today. He's going to have to just drive his butt off here, although he's doing it right now. He's catching the 81 and 39 of them.
Has picked up 2/10, but again, I don't know if 30 laps is going to be enough time to pick up 2.5 seconds on a decently fast in comparison to 68. Michael Churchman flying him and Sedlak, but I mean, it seems the only car that's had their number is Damon Gilbert, and this has been the story of Damon Gilbert's season, the fact that he's fast all race long, and something keeps him out of victory lane. Finally broke through 1 week ago in Daytona Beach, and now after fighting for the lead has fallen back to 6th. He's now wants 5th position and now taking 4th from the 81 of Colton Berkey. So back up to a top 4 spot. We know he has the speed. Question is now, is this time by race leader Michael Church, but 30 laps remain. PD, who will take this one home?
Oh, normally I would take a wild card pick with Michael Churchma, and but lately I've been not going with the obvious, factor. I think that Damon Gilbert, despite all odds, comes through in the clutch and wins this race. He's made up 2/10 the last 2 laps on the leaders, and right now I think he's just going to continue flying. And if he keeps that trend up, he'll get there.
I'm going to have to go with Churchma. Take a look at the way this race sits right now. We've been looking at a battle between the 00 car right there, about mid-pack of the lead lap, James Brown. He's been fighting with the only Toyota in the field, the of Dan Bailey, the 20 of David Wank, the 50 of Dustin Lee as well. This battle all going on around 8th position. I do think that it is going to be Churchma at 30 laps to go. I do feel like this race could go green to the finish. That's what I'm going to call it as. However, never typically want to bet on that side of the line, because it seems these races always, trouble, the 50 just blew an engine in 3 and 4 out of nowhere. Dustin Lee just let the engine go.
Yeah, I think he was running hot there. Oil temperature and water temperature probably got too high. He was running in a big pack battle, probably not getting a whole lot of air to the nose.
He had nose damage, and you get a little bit that, and it's hard to trace. And the oil temps, the water temps can go up very quickly, and it looks like that may have been the cause of it. Which it's very hard, because if he runs out of quick fixes, sometimes it won't even let you fix that damage, and you just have to hope that it doesn't blow up. So Dustin Lee is slow on the apron. Heavy black smoke pluming out of the back of his Chevrolet entry. He will have to come down pit road, and that's going to be another driver on the lead lap that will fall off, and we'll be left with 14 of them in lead lap contention.
Battle for third. Damon Gilbert has down to 1.9 seconds. Remember, it was 3 seconds just about 5 or 6 laps ago. So Gilbert is flying around Las Vegas Motor Speedway right now. He has to get right around 39. Oh, 39 cuts him off, and that's going to hurt him big time there. He's not going to find a way around 39. He has lost a whole bunch more time. And Sedlic's coming down pit road.
So no room was given to Damon Gilbert, and now we see that coming down pit road for the final stop on this race, the 35 of Nathan Sedlak with a short pit strategy. The question is, when will the rest of these drivers come down, and do we stay green throughout this whole cycle, or do some of these guys end up getting caught a lap down if a yellow were to fly at a very inopportune time? 35 is in as we anticipated. Crew goes over to the left side. Going to be a 4-tire stop, gas and go for Nathan Sedlak. He is back off. Michael Churchma stays out there on the track right now. Salicardi right now is 2nd position. Damon Gilbert still sits in 3rd, trying to close back in on that 39, who he tried to pass a few laps ago and didn't quite get the grip that he needed. Out of 4, slid up and nearly dumped Cardi in that side-by-side battle. But this one coming down to the end here, and there's not out of the realm of possibility that somebody may throw a late race strategy tire call into this one.
I would almost bet money on that 68 car takes 2. I have to believe that he has to do something here, Jeff. I think he has the car to do it. And Churchwell's looking a little bit slow right now. They just made up 5/10 on him. I don't know what happened to him that lap, but he lost almost actually 7/10 of that lap. Something big must have happened to him that time. He was way off pace. He ran a 30 flat compared to the Damon Gilbert machine, who ran a 29.5.
Gilbert's coming in.
And Damon Gilbert's coming down pit road. This is the car. I think we see someone do tire strategy. I think it's him, Evan.
Well, let's keep an eye as he comes down pit road from P3. That's going to leave Churchma out, as well as Salicardi. Race control reminding the drivers to watch the blend line where they come back up onto the racing surface. But Damon Gilbert has a long trip down pit road at pit speed of 50 miles an hour into the number 1 pit stall via pole position. Does he go with any tire strategy? Obviously, right side's going to go on the machine first. Gas going into the left side. They'd have enough that they don't necessarily need a full tank, and there it is, 2-tire call.
I just had a really good feeling that he was going to do that. I had to believe that he had a 9.105 there for a pit stop. I had to believe he was going to take 2 tires. That was his only shot, really, at that point in the race. Churchma has been really off the pace these last few laps. I don't know what's wrong with his car. Salicardi's been way faster. Churchma, maybe he's saving fuel, or his tires are gone. Something's going on with that Churchma machine. But he must have just driven his car way too hard in the first run there, Evan. He is not looking up to pace right now.
He had Sedlak behind him, and Sedlak is no slouch, so even though those guys were just kind of riding together, Churchman may have felt the pressure to really stay on the throttle so that he wasn't holding up his teammate, and is really slowing down now. The 95 car of Dale Adkins, 16th position, 2 laps down, is making a pass on him. Adkins was just on pit road, so you can kind of see the difference there between old tires and fresh tires. But as Churchman leads this race, taking a look at the guys that had pitted. Nathan Sedlak came down pit road first, is 1 lap down. He's in corner 4. At the same time, got to take a look at the second car that we saw come down pit road, and the one that took the 2-tire strategy is about a whole cycle of turns in front of him in Damon Gilbert. The lap times right now sitting in favor of Sedlak by about a 10th a lap. It's going to be close to see what happens there as 20 to go this time around.
As we see Michael Churchman now come down pit road, I have to believe this race goes green to the end. Everyone pits. This is right now the number 68 of Damon Gilbert's race to lose. Although we still have a long way to go, folks. Churchman coming down. We'll need to see if he takes 2 or 4 tires here. I don't expect him to take... He might take 2 now that I think about it. He knows that Gilbert did. This is really his shot now. He needs to take 2 if he wants to still be on pace with Gilbert. So here he comes in the stall. The right side, obviously, you're going up on that car. Now they're drilling them tires off and putting the next pair on immediately. Drops the jack. Will we see the car roll away? No. 4-tire stop for Michael Churchman. And he must think he can still beat the 68 on 4.
Well, he lost a lot of time by staying out there on the old tires. We'll have to see where he cycles through. He's just now getting back out on track. Meanwhile, Nathan Sedlak has already passed him, so not even close to being able to fight for it is Michael Churchman in that exchange. Boston Vice is going to be able to get around him. Brandon Cruz has already come down pit road. No, the 54 is still out there on track. I do believe, have not seen him come down pit road in these latter stages for his final set of service in this race. Salicardi has cycled to the lead. James Brown second. Dan Bailey, Dylan Ackert, Brandon Moss-Vice, and Joel Wood are the top 6 that have yet to come down pit road. And if there were to be a caution, everybody else would get a wave round. These guys would be able to pit, and they would lead this race, so that's what they're banking on.
Right now I'm looking at Brandon Montsevice. He appears to be saving fuel. He's the strategy guy. I mean, I don't really think he can string this one out, although I've seen crazier things happen. He might come down pit road this time. No, he's just really saving a ton of fuel. He has about a whole lap over Churchman. He can save fuel, so if he wanted to, I mean, he has a ton of room to do it. It's just a matter of if and, I mean, it'll be interesting, Evan. Last week in the pro race, I made a bad call thinking that he could save fuel. This week, I'm just not 100% sure if he'll not be able to save it. And the 68 and 08, I'm here, made a little bit of contact, but everyone was able to hang on, so it wasn't that big of a deal when it happened. So everyone's still calm, about 15 laps to go, and possibly fuel strategies to that factor.
We'll have to see. The 54 of Montsevice is giving up on any hopes of that. He stretched it as far as he can go, hoping on a yellow did not pay off for him, and he's going to be coming down pit road. That leaves us with 5 cars on the lead lap, and our leader Salicardi working around lap traffic in a side-by-side battle as we close in 14 laps to go. First car that leads 1 lap down is Damon Gilbert. If all the guys right now, top 6 that need to come down pit road, top 5 if you include Montsevice, who is currently making service done to his machine, Damon Gilbert is our race leader. The gap has been closing and closing and closing, Petey, as Nathan Sedlak. And look at all the lap traffic. There's trouble that back straight away. Caution is out. Around is Damon Gilbert. The 68 car is wrecked.
He lost it all by himself. He was pushing it too hard, got air loose out too, tried to save it, walked up the track, overcorrected in the outside wall, and tore up his machine. The replay is up. This changes everything. We will have 5 cars that will immediately be on the lead lap, and those 5 will be your top 5 when it goes green, and they'll have way fresher tires than the guys behind them. Michael Churchman was about to unlap himself, but he didn't quite do it. So Salicardi's sitting pretty right now.
Damon Gilbert just overdrove it going through the corner, overcorrected in the fence, and he was being run down by Nathan Sedlak. That Sedlak machine was hustling right up behind him, and he knew that, and they were going through very thick lap traffic, and what would have been our race leader, again, was scored 7th, would have been a race leader if everybody had cycled down pit road, wrecks it from the top spot. He is in the outside wall, and Sedlak nearly caught up in it as, again, there was about 4 or 5 lap machines right there that he had to fight through, And now the leaders, Salicardi, James Brown, Dan Bailey, and Dylan Ackert, along with Joel Wood, come down pit road. Those 5 are in for service. They will get tires as everybody else is going to stay out on track. They will get a wave around, but will not have the fresh tires. And Salicardi, even a James Brown, a Dan Bailey, could be in position to steal this race if they're able to hang on for what could be in the range of about 8 laps or so over the guys that are going to be about 6th on back. But, I mean, they've been on their tires for almost 15 laps now.
I honestly think this is Salicardi's race now. He has way fresher tires now than everyone behind him, like a Churchma or a Sedlak, and right now. So he's going to have such fresher tires, and the fact that he's going to have a buffer. Remember, all the guys that get the wave around are going to be behind all the guys that are like 3, 4, and 2 laps down. So it's really, if Salicardi loses this race, I think it's almost a miracle that way, because this is really his race right now, Evan. I don't see anything. I mean, maybe James Brown, Dan S. Bailey, Dylan Ackert, Joel Wood can beat him, but it's why I think it's going to be one of them 5, honestly. I think they just pulled a great strategy card here.
Yeah, 5 cars stay out, and they're going to be in front of Sedlak and company. All of these people are going to be able to get their wave around, group back up behind those top 5 cars, and now this literally changes everything, because our race leader is going to be Salicardi. The 39 started 4th, sits on top of the pile right now. But a guy like a James Brown, who's 2nd, started 12th. Dan Bailey started top 3, slid back as a victim of circumstances, now back in this fight. Dylan Ackert, who started 16th, is 4th, and Joel Wood is 5th after starting 11th. These 3 guys essentially, quote-unquote, are in the catbird seat for this because they have the ability to pit. The guys that are getting a wave around cannot come down and get service done. Joel Wood came in, Petey, and then cycled back down once again. Believe he may have got a speeding penalty under the yellow flag stops, so that could cost Joel Wood because he just came back down pit road, and that is going to drop him from 5th position. So 4 cars that, again, the scoring going to be a little bit off. You're taking a look at the standings on the left side of the screen. All of this going to update once we get the one to go, and everybody is waved around. But this is going to be a late race restart, still with the opportunity for 1 more yellow and 1 more restart.
Right now, I'm counting the cars that are going to separate the leaders and the guys that got the wave around. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's going to be about 7 or 8 cars in between the top 5 and the rest of the field right now. So Salicardi, man, if he wins this race, this is a great, great job by his crew with the strategy here. We're in about a 9-lap finish here. Possibly see some cautions. I mean, that's definitely not out of the realm of possibilities here, but it's just incredible how this race is taking a turn here. And I don't know why I keep seeing Salicardi, because there's no reason why James Brown or Dan S. Bailey can't win it. Hey, if Dan S. Bailey wins it, I mean, the one Toyota in this field could beat the other 23 Chevys of them.
That would be quite a bet to place at the Strip in Las Vegas here on the manufacturer, a 23-1 odd against the Toyotas in this one. But take a look again, everybody in front of Salicardi, they now accelerate around the pace car as the lights have gone off. This is going to be, and it's going to be a restart coming up to lap number 92 in this event, and 9 laps to go. That gives us quite a large window of opportunity of about 4 laps to be able to go, have a yellow, and still go back green. If a caution flies from lap 95 on, this race will end under caution flag conditions, and the leader at the point of yellow at the last scoring stripe is going to win this race. So here's how they stack up. Salicardi and James Brown, front row. Dan Bailey, Dylan Ackert, Joel Wood, and then more guys right here. You got the 40 machine in this mix. That's Dustin Loynes. He's 2 laps down. James Wilkins is 4 laps down. Dominic Dyball, 3, 2 laps down. Then you find Nathan Sedlak. First car out of the guys that got waved around, but he's got 15-lap older tires, and he has 5 cars in between him and the guys that just pitted. I don't see him being able to get the job done unless something wild happens on this one. And to say it's not going to happen, we're going to find out. The pace car needs to get well out of the way of what could be the final restart of this race. And Salicardi, look at the steal one and gamble on it. It paid off so far. Can he win at Las Vegas? Pace car down and away, in control, accelerates, and green flag back out. 9 to go.
Oh, they're already wrecking.
Already wrecking.
Oh, caution's out, and this is actually put everyone caught back up with each other. Best thing that could have happened to Churchman here is this. I'm trying to find this wreck, Evan. Did you see it?
Joel Wood and Dustin Loynes, and those were the machines that I believe were in between our cars that were on the that got the wave around and that are not. And it's just a Joel Wood, PD. He had that speeding penalty, got a little bit too aggressive on it, and I mean, he just spun the tires very simply. Went up, took out the 40 car back under yellow, and you're right, because now those 5 cars that I talked about that were in between the people that had stayed out and were able to pit versus the people that got their wave rounds, those cars are now going to get cycled to the back, and now it's fair game.
And also on that restart, Dan S. Bailey got around James Brown, so that's going to be a whole different top 2. I still think with the fresher tires, it's Salicari's race to lose, but back on the gamble we were talking about, man, what a gamble in Vegas. I mean, it's kind of ironic. The place where gambling happens, Las Vegas, is the place where Salicardi is making it happen right now. At 39 machine will be the leader on the final restart. We're going to have about 5 laps to go. Next caution would end the race, but right now things are looking up for the Accardi team, and really anyone that stayed out is going to get a decent finish out of all this, I believe. So I am just really impressed. You rarely see this happen. You're seeing them all slow down right now, waiting for the pace car, going about 18 miles an hour. So pace car is going to try to catch them, and that might actually add an extra lap to caution. So we might have another lap to end this race. So it's going to be very few laps to go. Evan, next flag would end the race, and I honestly don't see anyone getting up there and challenging these top 2 or 3.
Now it's going to be their only opportunity. If anything, it's almost back to an even ground, because now that the guys like Accardi, or rather the guys like Churchma, Berkey, Monster Vice, Nathan Sedlak, who is going to be 4th but came down pit road, they need these tires, Speedy, because of the fact that, again, they were on 15-lap older tires. No way that Sedlak was going to pass 9 cars in 5 laps on older tires than them, unless something drastic happened, a huge checkup, and he was able to get through it. So he comes down pit road along with quite a bit of company. Only thing is, though, that's going to put him way back to like 10th position nearly, or somewhere in that range. And with a very short stint, again, we get a yellow. This race is essentially done once we go back green flag racing. Maybe if they wreck right away, maybe a 1-lap shootout. But again, with everybody having to wait on the pace car, I don't anticipate that being the case. So although we thought that it may have been able to play in the Sedlak's favor, I think that this strategy call by these guys staying out, banking on a yellow, it worked for them, and it's going to be decided between Accardi, Bailey, and Brown possibly for those top 3 spots.
Yeah. Oh, man. Evan, we're going to make some late race picks here like we like to do. And I'm going to, you know what, we're in Vegas. It's a place to gamble. I know we already made our picks, but everything just took a big change up here, so we're going to make another set of picks here. It's Vegas, you know, gambling, like you said, the odds. I'm going to take the guy that had 23-1 the odds to win for manufacturing. I'm going to go with Dan S. Bailey steals this one.
I mean, I think Salicardi is going to get the job done. He'll be in control of this field, and I feel like with we got a lot of guys that are really going to be digging. Still people coming down pit road. The updated standings are going to have Churchma in 5th. You got guys like Sedlak back there on 4 fresh tires. I think this race will end under caution flag conditions given the circumstances with everybody. Now the fresher tires are no longer in the front, which there is a perfect scenario for green flag racing. Now that they're in the back, everybody's really going to be digging it at a hot, slick, abrasive Las Vegas Motor Speedway racetrack. I feel like we're going to get a yellow, and Salicardi just needs to hang on for about 2 laps to win this one from P1. And he does have Dan Bailey, who qualified better than him, was faster than him in practice. But I think as long as he doesn't spin those tires, being the control car, if he can catch that 08 sleeping, and if James Brown is going to be a key part in this as well, if Brown's able to get a nose to the inside of Bailey, Salicardi is going to be home free. We'll have to see, though. So many different situations that this can play out. It looks like it's going to be about a 5 lap to go. Restart, lights still on the pace car on lap 94. 6 to go this time by. If the lights do go off and give us the one to go to the restart, it is going to be 5 laps to decide this one. Question is, without the ability to have green-white checkers to decide this race can very well end under a yellow flag condition. We'll have to see what the status on the lights are going to be.
Yeah, and with Salicardi leading, I agree with you. It's going to be hard to beat him. I see Dan S. Bailey possibly getting by him. And saying that Accardi was beaten practice by Bailey and beaten qualifying, and in qualifying it was only 1 position, so they were pretty even in qualifying. I mean, Salicardi's had a really stout car this race. I mean, this was no fluke. He was up near the top 3 even before the caution came out. So, Salicardi, even if he does win this race, I just want to say that this isn't really a fluke. He had a fast car. Maybe not the fastest, but he certainly had a top 3 car tonight. And he might just get really lucky with this one here. Although we're about to find out, we're going to have about a 4-lap shootout from what I'm hearing from the drivers when they get the green flag in this one. So, this is going to be fun here tonight to watch these guys. duel it out for just 4 laps to decide who brings the win home from the CORA Sunday Money Series at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Be sure to stick around for the post-race show where we talk to the top 3. And, man, this is going to be fun because Churchman's up there in 5th now, and he's going to be right there. I mean, it's not over for him, Evan, but it's going to take a lot with people in front of him having fresher tires and track position, clearly.
He'll have to put down 4 pole laps, I think, if he wants to get the job done. I do believe, again, because we saw everybody have to wait on the pace car. Because of that, I think that's where this extra lap of pacing comes from. So it is going to be 4 to go. Caution will end this race. Accardi in control of this field. Nobody ever said it was the fastest car that won in racing. Nobody ever said that racing was ever fair. The fastest car tonight, I think a unanimous decision that it was the 6 to Damon Gilbert. Well, he put himself at a fence, finds himself in 12th. You got guys like, people that are cycling back at a pack. Nathan Sedlak is 9th position. Churchman, even though he's 5th, has led this race, and circumstances did not fall in their favor with the way the yellow flew, and now we're going to decide who walks away with the Silver State 150 from Las Vegas with CORA Sunday Money action. Going to be a 4 lap to go restart. Accardi, Bailey, Brown, Ackert. You got Churchma, Berkey, Monsivice, Wenck, Sedlak, and Adkins in the top 10.
And it will come down to those 10. We're going to have a 4-lap shootout here from Las Vegas. They're about to roll the dice and gamble here one last time, as Sal Accardi's going to lead him down with a very fast Dan S. Bailey on his outside. And don't count James Brown, 2nd place last week. And he's good in the Gen 6 cars. He's very good in the Gen 6 cars, and I'm sure he's excited to be sitting pretty here for this final restart of the race, as we're just going to see one last time these guys go at it. And like I said, it's anyone's race. Maybe the top 3 could wreck and Churchman could find a hole, or maybe they'll go green to the end. Who knows? We're about to find out, Evan.
Going to be 4 laps, 6 miles to determine who gets the trophy in the Silver State 150 and walks into an off week and the halfway point for the season on a high note. Sal Accardi, Dan Bailey will control this field from the front row. Pacing at a 4 for the final restart tonight on LSRTV. Pace car diving down and well out of the way. The 39 restart is key. Hesitating is Sal Accardi. He's got to go. He's got to get a good jump. Green flag back in the air. Good restart. Gets clear from 2nd, clear from 3rd. Top 3 single file. Churchman to the inside on the 29 of Dylan Ackert. That battle for P4.
Battle for P4. Here comes Churchman. He's clear of Ackert. So Churchman already up to 4th. Now it's just a battle if Scott Bailey can catch those 39 or if a caution will come out. Who knows here, but we're watching these guys go at it for everything they're worth. The 08 of Dan S. Bailey. Oh, the double low machine got turned
James
by
Brown.
Churchman.
He's in the fence. That's it.
That's
At
it.
the front, caution
Sal
fly.
Accardi
Sal
does it.
Accardi will win this at a quarter number 4. Comes the 3 to go under the yellow flag after trouble inside the top 5. For one of the cars that we discussed could have possibly won this, James Brown, he's in the outside fence. Dylan Ackert is turned around as well. Dejection for both of those drivers as the replay goes up. We knew Churchman was going to be fast, and the bump and run is something you typically see at a track like Iowa, a track like, a Martinsville PD. The 88 just straight ran over the 00, did not have time to wait for him, got sideways, and while trying to hang on to it, James Brown overcorrects, gets into Dylan Ackert. Those 2 cars in the fence. This could cost a little bit of points to Churchman if he gets an EOL at all, but that is ending this race as James Brown, no consolation, will work all race long to get to a top 5 spot, finds himself in 13th, and it was a bump and run gone wrong at 180 miles an hour.
All defense to Michael Churchma. It wasn't too hard of a bump. He just kind of hit him in an awkward place. So Churchma had no bad intentions there, and if they don't EOO him, he will finish 3rd, so we'll have an opportunity to talk to him. Your unofficial top 3 as of right now, 2 to go, are the 39 of Sal Accardi, 08 of Dan S. Bailey, and the 88 of Michael Churchma. Right behind them is David Wenck and Colton Berkey. So really, it was a fun and exciting race, and I think a top 3 fastest car won this, even though it was on a gamble. He still got done, and I'm sure Sal Accardi is ecstatic to win a... Oh, they're going to EOL the 88. Okay, so that's going to move David Wenck up to 3rd here, and that does shake things up a little bit. That will also add the number 68 of Damon Gilbert to 5th, so a couple things got shaken up there. But like I was saying about Sal Accardi, I think he'll be very ecstatic, and I can't wait to hear him in his interview, because I know this probably means a ton to that man.
Yeah, I felt like the 88 was obviously going to get black flag clearly. The cause of that after Again, he tried to pull a short track move at Las Vegas, and you can't really blame him. It is desperation late in the race, but in the end, he does take out 2 cars. So he is going to be given the end of the longest line penalty. Not going to really be a drastic hit. He'll drop to 14th points-wise because Michael Churchma, one of the drivers who is sitting rather is close in that thing, Petey, because he's going to go from 3rd to 14th. That's 11 points. He was 6 out from Dustin Lee. He's now going to drop from 5 spots in front of Dustin Lee to now essentially 5 behind him. That's actually rather a tough hit for Churchma if he wants to be able to make this chase. Still about 7 laps to go, or 7 races to go until that cutoff, but he just lost all the ground that he might have made up.
White flag in the air. That's right, Evan. This is the white flag lap as we see Salicardi leading this thing. But Churchma, I wouldn't be too worried. Still 7 races to go. I'm sure he'll find his way back up, and there's still a lot of races. A lot of things could happen, and he'll be okay. Don't worry about Michael Churchma. He missed a race, and that probably played into the whole reason why he's so far behind right now. As Salicardi, though, what a night for Cardi. And a man that's fought so hard all season, hasn't had the success he's wanted. He's proved a point tonight. He had speed. He showed it throughout the whole night. He was always up near the top 3. And was not the fastest car, but he had the best strategic mind. And luck is better. You've heard great race car drivers say before, I'd rather have skill than luck. And Salicardi had the luck he needed tonight to win this race. And it's going to pay off big time in points for Salicardi. And, we'll get to hear from Victory Lane, but I'm sure he's going to burn it down first.
White flag still out in the air as the field paces for the final time through corners number 3 and 4 and set to take home the win at America's Racing Showplace is Salicardi, who started top 5, got cycled back, and it was a Hail Mary on the pit strategy there to stay out on the final cycle of what were green flag stops. Caution flies, remains on the lead lap, fights through 2 late race yellows, and in the end is going to be the winner tonight from Las Vegas. Final time and across the start-finish line, checkered flag for race 12 in the Silver State 150. The hardware goes to Salicardi and number 39 Chevrolet. Second, we talked about Dan Bailey and David Wink can round out the podium. Berkey, Gilbert, Sedlak, Lee, Monsivice, Adkins, Wood, and Bart all the way through to 11th, and then 12th and 13th, Starks and Churchma will round out our lead lap cars. But we expected late race drama, and we said it throughout that whole long green flag stretch. Although the race looked like it was going to go green, pretty typically you get that late race yellow. We got it, and we got the excitement at the end, and to the proud approval of Salicardi, because he's your winner tonight.
Salicardi brings home the hardware tonight, and man, I'm sure he's getting ready to burn it down. They're still following the pace car around. And, Evan, that time by, I think, was actually was it? I'm so confused what's going on right now. Are they still following the pace car?
The race is over. The 39 of Salicardi is currently working officially on lap 101 of 100. So he has won this race. You can't catch me you're not getting me on 2 Marty Reeds.
I was about to say.
That's a one-time thing. I'm looking at my numbers now. I'm not on replay. Salicardi has won this race, and maybe he's thinking of what kind of burnout he wants to do because the whole field still rather calm behind the pace car, possibly race control, just trying to make sure everybody is in the correct spot. And we will see. It appears that the drivers are being requested to stay on the track. So he is your winner. Top 3 going to stay out. They're going to get their photo at the start-finish line. You can check that out online, as well as more information for CORA at cora-racing.com. But Salicardi is your winner tonight. The post-race show coming up on Live Sim Racing TV. We'll talk to hopefully the top 3 finishers and send you off into an off week where we'll see you for the next race from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on February the 1st. So post-race show coming up from Viva Las Vegas. Stay tuned. Back live from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where the Silver State 150 and the halfway point in the CORA Championship Online Racing Association Sunday Money Series campaign has come to a close. And we look forward to the second half of the season after an off week in 1 week's time from Indianapolis. But the post-race show tonight from Las Vegas getting set kicked off, and I'm down here first with our third place finisher tonight, driver of the number 20 car, and at a race that looked like it was gonna be and had a chance at being a storm 1, 2, 3 at some points, and late race trouble and caution and a whole bunch of strategy plays a factor in it. It's going to be a P3 after starting 20th for David Wink. And David, first off, you were fourth fastest in practice, did not get a qualifying time. You saw that happen to a lot of people. What was behind that?
I don't know. I was kind of surprised by the track conditions. I went out there, did a few key runs in practice. Everything was fine. Go out there, and all of a sudden, it just was like skating on ice. I couldn't get it past turn 2.
Well, when it's all said and done, you start 20th in what was essentially a 24-car field. You pick up 17 en route to a podium position at Las Vegas. That strategy coming all the way down to the end of it, people staying out on pit road, people obviously coming down on pit road. You were part of that group that had pitted. You were able to fight your way back up there, though, and get a podium. What was that final quarter of the race like, and how did it all go down that you were able to get back up here and get that P3 for you and the team?
It was really just strategy. I know my teammate Nathan went down, and I knew I had to go down soon because I was going to be about 2-3 laps short. It's just a matter of when. And I decided I'm more comfortable on the 20-lap run than I am anything else. So that was the decision on that, and really just making my way through up the field. It's just lucky. I was hoping for a top 10 because I don't like this track at all. But it worked out well. Can't complain.
And now we're halfway through this season. You entered tonight 5th in the championship standings, have a better night than George Bark, and going to gain a few points on him. But right now you're sitting good when you look at the chase picture. Still 7 races to go till this field gets cut down to 12 eligible drivers, and we go 5 races to determine our champion. So as long as you don't have anything catastrophic or miss a bunch of races, you're pretty much set to be able to fight for a championship. So we got to look forward at the schedule. We got one more Gen 6 race coming up before we hit the trucks, followed by the B cars, followed by one last stint with these Cup cars before the chase. In 2 weeks' time, have an off week, going to be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in these Cup cars. That one as well, an open set. Storm looked strong early on, and you ended up carrying the flag for them late in it after a lot went down in those final 20 laps. What's the thought process going into Indy?
The thought process is we're really confident with Indy. We have a set we built over the summer, and I did some testing, and it's still really, really fast. So I'm very, very confident going into Indy.
Well, it's going to be a podium for you tonight, Dave, and I know you and the team are working a lot throughout the week, getting the setup tuned in, and obviously not possible to get the job done by yourself. Sponsors and shout-outs, all the folks that make a top 3 run possible for the 20 Chevrolet.
First and foremost, I got to thank the team: Nathan, Sedlak, Michael Churchwell, Don Stevenson. All of them helped us throughout the week, and it was a tough break by Michael without EOL. And I got to give a shout out to Nathan again for that 5th or 6th place finish. I'm not quite sure where he finished, but strong team effort all week, and it paid off tonight.
And it does. Enjoy the off week, and we hope to see a lot more of the 20 car as well as the Storm Gang moving forward into the second half of the season. Thanks for talking with us.
Thank you.
It is your 3rd place finisher tonight, the number 20 machine, David Wink, carrying the flag for Storm Motorsports when it is all said and done. And now caught up down on pit road with our P2 finisher and the lone Toyota in the field. PDJ Zeller's down, and he's talking with Dan Bailey.
Yes, I'm down here with Dan Bailey. And Dan, you started this race 3rd, kind of fell back a little bit, but found your way up to the front. Take us through your race and how you came home 2nd.
First, I want to thank the good Lord for a 2nd place finish, and I qualified 3rd, pretty much, and I didn't have a good long run car at all. It was good for about 10 laps, and then it really fell off. But I just got real lucky in that long run where Damon lost it, and I hadn't pit yet, and it put me in a great position to get the win. And I think if this thing stayed green, I might have had something for Sal.
Well, Dan, you certainly put on a good event there, and you were the only Toyota in the field, so I have to ask you, what was it like being the only Toyota surrounded by a majority of Chevys?
Yeah, I was a little different. I feel like I was surrounded by a big crowd and got nowhere to go, but it's pretty cool being the only Toyota in the field.
All right, well, we're gonna head off into the off week and have no race. Then we come back on Super Bowl Sunday to race Gen 6s at Indianapolis. Are you excited for Indy, and do you think you have a good setup for that race?
Indianapolis probably isn't my favorite track, but Las Vegas wasn't either, and I figured out how to get a setup here, but I'll just do the same thing for Indianapolis and try to get that track down.
All right, and heading forward in the chase, you are certainly going to be wanting to make the chase. Clearly, you're right in the battle to make it. What do you have to do to keep your team up there, battling for the chase positions as the season goes on?
Yeah, I gotta, well, pretty much consistently top tens is pretty much been my goal all year, and I figured if I could do that, I could pretty much break my way into the chase.
All right, and before I let you go, catch up with your crew. Who do you got to thank? Who makes that for you the number 08 crew?
I just want to thank Damon, Gilbert, Dustin Lee, Jeffrey Smith, and those guys, George Bark, for helping me out.
All right. Well, that was our second place finisher tonight, Dan Bailey in the 08 machine. And meanwhile, down in Victory Lane, Evan Pasoko is caught up where the champagne is flying and Sal Cardi celebrating.
Yeah, 39 gets it tonight. He started top 5, Sal, and it was a late race strategy call that got the job done for you. You were able to come down pit road. Everybody else got to wave around, and 2 late race cautions. The restarts were key, though. You stayed out in front of it, didn't give everybody else a shot at you. How'd you get that 39 at Victory Lane tonight in Vegas?
Well, I got to thank my teammates, helping me with setups, and I was uncertain what to do on the pit stop, so I kind of just stayed out, and we got lucky. We got the caution flag.
And it worked perfectly into your favor. We saw a lot of drivers struggle in qualifying. A lot of cars that were top 5 in practice DNF'd in qualifying and had to start at the back of the pack. You, the opposite story. 16th fastest in practice, put down your fastest lap of the night in qualifying. Did that really help you get in that track position early on?
Yeah, it's not good to start in the back. I mean, you get beat around back here, and to start up as close to the front as you can is the best.
Well, it capitalizes for you and the team, and this is the halfway point now. Race 12 in the books out of 24, and we have a little bit of an off week. We get back at it in 2 weeks' time when we head to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. What is your outlook rolling forward on the rest of the season? What do you want to get accomplished for you and the 39 team?
Right now, we're just trying to get in the top 12, and just picking them off one at a time. And these finishes are definitely helping. I mean, I'm shocked. I can't believe I won a Sunday money race. I've been running these guys a long time, and this is a good win, man.
And it's long fought for and well deserved, and there's no better way to get a lot of points than put it in victory lane. You got that job done tonight, and you're obviously going to be continuing to move forward with now 7 races to go to the chase cutoff to try to be able to make that, and who knows, maybe play the dark horse and fight for yourself a championship. Before we let you go, Sal, I know you talked about your teammates, sponsors, and shout-outs, everybody who made this possible and who got you to victory lane tonight.
Yeah, 10-4. Well, I'd like to thank A Plus Auto Salvage. Got to thank Dominic Dyball, and he made my car look pretty, and all those coats of wax made it fast, And I got to thank Joe Wood. Got to thank Tim D. Johnston, Brandon, Colton Berkey, Charlie Starks. All them guys are really helping me. And I'd like to thank CORA and my driving coach. We hired a driving coach this year, Kevin McCarthy. And every time I do something stupid, I hear his voice in my head, and it makes me not do that stupid thing.
Well, it worked out for you, and you were clutch when you needed to. Sal Cardi, your winner tonight. Thanks for talking with us, Sal. Congratulations, and we look forward to seeing that 39 have some more strong runs here moving forward in this season.
All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, we plan on it. Thanks.
That is your winner tonight. Put it in victory lane. A well-deserved winner, a long-fought deserved win for Sal Cardi. You love when you see people like this, Speedy. They're able to finally get it to victory lane. And he, another driver, much like we saw Damon Gilbert, knocking on the door, and he's able to capitalize tonight in the city that you got to gamble and got the job done on that tire strategy.
Well, like you said, he's been around CORA for a very, very long time. He's been a part of the series since, he's just been here forever, and if he has first win tonight, it must just mean a lot to him. And he's been getting help from Kevin McCarthy, like he said, and it must have paid off. And Salicardi might be the dark horse going in the chase if he can keep doing what he did tonight.
Well, he wins it tonight from Las Vegas, and we send you off into an off week where we have a break and 12 races down, 12 to go in this CORA season, and we look forward to the rest of Season 5 to be equally as exciting. But from Las Vegas, Nevada, that does it for the first half of the year. And Salicardi wins it after the Silver State 150 comes down to a couple of late race yellows, some strategy, a long green flag run. We had everything in this race that you could have wanted. Drama from the top spots. We had guys come up like a David Wank starting 20th, gets a third place. Great race overall and a great way to send us off into the off week. Before we head off and get set for Indianapolis, I want to thank the sponsors at CORA that make this possible. Early Property Management, Small Town Computers, iRacing.com, TeamSpeak, and Bart Competition Karting. For more information on CORA, check them out online, CORA-Racing.com. Type that same thing in to the Facebook search bar, and you can find out more on them as well. On behalf of the broadcast crew, myself, Evan Pasoko, tonight, no longer Marty Reed. We got that one out of the way, PDJ Zeller as well for joining me, and executive producer Laura Lawson getting us on air. That does it from Las Vegas. Your winner is Salicardi. We'll have an off week, and the second half of the season, we'll see you at Indy in 2 weeks' time.